Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, welcome back to This Week in Base Hit. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah to Sean Green, Sandy Koufax, and Ryan Braun. I am your host, Zubaz. That is my co-host, Citizen Clone. Clone, how's your week?
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Getting in, you saw me a little bit before this, getting loony for the holidays. You're getting loony for the holidays. I see that hat on you.
Yeah,
You're gonna
Zuba.
wear that hat for the next week,
This is
not take it off.
actually made by Zubaz. A lot of people think Zubaz isn't still in business. They're doing just fine with high
Uh,
quality Santa hats like this.
Said they don't have a Brewers one though. How can that
No,
be?
they just have NFL. They don't have the rights to MLB, I guess.
Is
But
there a different company? That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
nah, like they can't do Zubaz. They got this patented, baby.
I love the picture behind you.
That's the Rockies crying
That's the
that we
thing.
did with
That's
Chat GPT.
the...
We'll
This is
talk about
perfect.
we'll talk
Okay.
about that because we're the goal of this show is 2025 highlights, maybe a little year in
MLB.
review of MLB, and just kind of sending it off as like a 2025 was a great year, a very interesting year
Our
in
personal highlights. Our
baseball.
personal highlights.
I have some personal highlights for sure. Yeah, there's a couple other things I wanted to mention, but
Okay. Well, I was considering it to be
oh,
top moments in my experience of thinking
oh,
about
I did not do that.
how you were thinking about it in terms of the history of the
Just
game.
no, just a leak. Just like things that I thought were the coolest things from 2025. Why don't you kick us off? This was your idea. I think it was a good idea.
I love the picture behind you too. That's
Well,
the
that was just a little bit of fun, with the Rockies, because their highlight was they avoided eternal embarrassment by getting a little bit hot right at the end, finished with 43 wins. So they finished above the White Sox 41 wins. Obviously, they finished above the Cleveland Spiders 20 wins. But
yeah.
yeah, so
And you
uh,
can't see it on there, but we were making fun of their City Connects because there was just some funny pictures on there. So yeah,
yep. So we made
they're
them
all
crying. You
crying.
can't really see them crying,
But
right?
they don't look so bad to me now at the moment, but we'll see. Who knows?
Yep.
Uh oh man, you're getting me started. All right. I went back last night to try to think of my personal highlights. Um and I was also trying not to make them all Dodgers, but maybe I start out with a Dodger.
Okay.
Uh no, I'll start out with the most generic to me. My highlight was getting MLB TV, man. That thing is
Oh,
huge. Um
yeah.
I had never done it before, and it changed my world. Hopefully I'm gonna keep up with it. But at the beginning of the year, I wasn't sure that I was gonna use it because I hadn't watched this many baseball games in forever. And then I watched again over 100, well over 100, and fell in love with baseball. I've said, and it just became a rhythm to I'm watching Dodgers, so it's West Coast. But just a rhythm to the week of coming up here, the pregame shows. I mean, it was and the postgame shows. Um, so it was all night long. Getting to
Yeah.
see Sizer talking all the time. It was awesome.
It brought structure to my life. I mean, I've
Have you?
been
How
doing
long have you had it?
I've had MLB TV for the last 3 years, where I got really back into baseball. Um, I was always a Brewer fan, but last 3 years I've watched every single game, and every time at the end of the year I was like, why does life even exist if baseball doesn't? Like it overtakes me, and I love it. I love it because
Full-time job keeping up with
it's
the baseball team.
so fun. And when they have days off, I'm just bummed. But then I watch what I started doing this year for the first time because I have MLB TV and I have access to so many things, is I watch one of the Brewers minor league games on the Brewers
Oh,
off
on
days.
the
So
days
so
off,
I've
yeah, yeah.
gotten I've gotten so much deeper into
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that level.
prospects, which is a lot of fun too, because you see a lot of, I mean, you see some crazy baseball in Double A baseball. It's fun to watch.
We have our different, yeah. Yeah, I was when I was digging deep. I mean, I was watching highlights from you watched the 10 minutes. So MLB, they do the 10-minute
Yep, condensed
condensed
games, and I
game for
watch them
everybody.
all every
You
day,
watch them all. I don't do that, but I
or
would do the short.
I keep
I
them
would
on
do
in
the
the
short.
background while I'm working.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
do the short ones, but then it was kind of deep dive on Dodgers and rumors and gossip and getting to know the guys and stuff like that.
All right, so that's
I
number
I
one.
just
That's a
really
good one.
like the studio guys out there, and it was well done. I did have the blackout crap,
Oh
which
yeah, they
cracked
gotta
me
fix
up.
that. MLB has to fix that. Like if you're paying that much for MLB, and also keep in mind MLB, if you're listening, if that's really your name, uh, that most of us like you're blacking us out because we should have Fox Sports South or whatever.
Oh, is that
Like,
what it is?
yeah, yeah, because they have
Oh,
these
it's because they
TV.
want us to go to the games. Isn't that
They
the old?
no, it's they just have these TV agreements and they want to funnel you back to. But most of us, like, well, a lot of us, like,
Yeah,
we don't live in the city our team is from. So
yeah.
you're blacking out like away games when they're playing against the Rangers or the Astros. But also, none of us have terrestrial TV anymore. So, like,
Yeah.
I have YouTube TV. I'll pay for that and I pay for MLB TV, but now I can't watch all the games. And for the Rangers, I had to sign up for like Fubo.tv. Like, I could just choke you,
That's how they
MLB.
get you.
Don't like I'm paying for MLB TV. Just give us
This was supposed to be a positive, but MLTV. But yeah,
okay, sorry,
the
sorry.
blackout. No, 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 no,
The
no. You're right.
blackout needs to
There's a
change.
there's a I have to look at the map because I'm assuming it gets ridiculous out west because of how big states are.
Yeah.
But I believe every and does Hawaii have blackouts? I'm assuming. I don't know. But I
They
think they
won't.
made it that every place in the
Has
country
two.
has at least one blackout. Oh, it's
Yeah,
two?
I think they all have two blackout teams. I think. I
So
think
I'm in
that's
North Carolina, and anytime the Dodgers played the Nationals
or the
and
Orioles.
the Orioles, they were blacked out. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, there are not that many Nationals fans here. I kept joking about like, oh
In
man,
North
I'm in the
Carolina.
hotbed of Nationals world,
Yep.
but
Okay, so that's a
anyway,
positive. MLB
anyway,
TV,
but it was great. It was a great
it
addition
is great. Yep.
to my life and
And they
got me.
have a great other content too, like first take or not first take, first pitch. Oh shoot, I'm forgetting the name. They have a nice little morning show for MLB that you can watch. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Historical stuff. Yep. Anyway,
Yep,
that was a big highlight for me. And you got me you talked me into it, so that was cool. Anyway,
that's a good highlight.
there you go.
Uh, all right.
What do you got?
Well, so
What you got
yeah,
for me?
so one of the things I wanted to mention is well, there was a couple. So I was telling you, even though like I was really suffering after the Brewers got bounced, I still felt very honored to be able to watch the Mariners Tigers game, which was the longest elimination playoff game of all time. And then that got followed by the Dodgers Blue Jays 18 inning game, which is the third one. It actually technically wasn't the longest. I guess the Astros game in 2005 went 18 as well, but it was a little bit longer. But it felt like an honor to me to watch these games, especially now that we're in an era of ghost runners. You don't see games this long very often, and to see like especially that Mariner Tiger game where it was an elimination game to go to the ALCS. So much was on the line. You saw things happening. Like they were pulling out every stop, and to see Jorge Polanco, who's now a Met, should have been a Pirate, get that walk off hit was really special. So I felt honored to see amazing extra inning playoff baseball. That'll be my first one.
You're one of mine. You're just gonna roll into, yeah. So one of mine on my list. It's that 18 inning game, the Dodgers game, which I could talk about for 18 innings. But I've said before, I'm gonna say again, like so back in the day, back in '88. I had moved to North Carolina. I was always an away fan anyway, but watching the that series, I didn't know any baseball fans. I didn't know anybody really, and I watched it all by myself, and I just very much remember like these late nights of watching those games by myself, celebrating, and like not having anyway. So my family had watched a bunch of games with me this year, but that 18 inning game, no, because it didn't occur to them it was going to go on forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm down there, and it was a double game, and my kid went to bed, my wife went to bed. At some point, my kid got up to go pee at like 2 a.m. and he hears the TV. He looks over and he sees me still down there, and I'm like in so much pain watching that game. And it was painful, but it was very enjoyable. This is game three, yeah, and it's just unbelievable. Like you said, we don't. I mean, I do think, yeah, it's not sustainable to have extra inning games like that during the season, but
No, no.
it wasn't sustainable even for the
For the series,
for
yeah.
the playoff because yeah, I mean, I think it had an impact on the Dodgers for a couple. They're the older team. I think it had an impact on them for a couple days. Um, but so many heroes and Will Klein, like who had never pitched more than I can't remember how many pitches, and he went 4 innings like he was never going to. They were at some point they interviewed Dave Roberts. He was saying he was getting ready to put a position player out to pitch, uh, and uh, and then Yamamoto, who's who is a hero who did not play in this game, but he like walked over with his translator, like I'll go in, and he walked out to the bullpen to warm up, and there's a video somewhere of Sasaki watching him go past and like looking dumbfounded. Uh, we were talking about the baseballs before. They were running out of baseballs because they prepare a certain number of baseballs, and
Yeah.
okay, it was like they were prepare like
200.
270. It was,
Yeah.
and they were at like 200, and they were
Yep.
like, we don't know what we're gonna do. They were gonna have to go into the crowd and get people to give back the foul balls. No, I don't know. Anyway, amazing game, and just amazing. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, I think there was some really stellar individual performances that I think are worth mentioning from the year. One of the most interesting things is like there was a time a couple of years ago where there's three perfect games in a season where there's almost never a perfect game, and then all of a sudden three of them in a season. This year, the stat like that was there's only I think 21 people that have ever hit four home runs in a game, and this year we had three people hit four home runs in a game. Kyle Schwarber, Eugenio Suarez, and Nick Kurtz. And but if you drill down on that, there was two of those were shockingly important performances. Eugenio Suarez was only the second player ever and the first player in 80 years to hit four home runs in only four at bats. He went up four times. He only saw, I think, seven pitches and had four home runs. Really incredible. And
Yeah.
then Nick Kurtz game, he's a rookie, no less. He went 6 for 6. He tied a MLB historic record of 19 total bases. And and so like in back-to-back years, we saw the Shohei 6 for 6 game, two home runs, two stolen bases, and it went 50-50 and clinched a playoff berth. And then you saw Nick Kurtz with him being a rookie is like that modifier where I think we've seen two of the best offensive performances in a single game ever in back-to-back years. You could argue that Nick Kurtz, you literally could argue that that was the best offensive performance ever, going 6 for 6 on top of four home runs. So I thought that was pretty special to watch. And then I want to mention one other thing along with that, that I don't, as much love as Cal Raleigh's getting, I don't think you can give him enough love because he was, not only did he hit 60 home runs, which only a couple people have ever done in history, but he's a catcher, a catcher. And not only is he a catcher, he's a switch hitter. Right? So
Yeah.
like the best switch hitter of all time was Mickey Mantle. He passed his 55 home runs with 60. We're not dealing with ostensibly a juice ball this year based on the other offensive production. So that 60 was
How
like a
many games?
legit.
I don't know how many games he played, but
Well, yeah,
catches.
and
Oh,
that's exactly it. He had to play almost every game. I think he played 154 games or something like that. So yeah, so I mean it's really amazing. And to have that power consistently from both sides of the plate, I think that has to be looked at as one of the best offensive seasons of all time. Maybe the best if you consider the fact that he was an everyday catcher.
yeah, it's crazy. I
So
mean,
there's a couple for you.
is that gonna be his that a sign of things to come for him, or is this gonna stick out as
You
one
can't get
weird?
any better than that. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
way not to regress from that. It's just
Uh,
it's shocking what he did.
Going back to the 4 home run games, do you know the show Abbott Elementary, or do you know this
Mm-mm.
story?
No.
My kid watches it, but Abbott Elementary that films in Philadelphia, and they were filming an episode of it at that game
Oh,
when he
really?
hit 4 home runs, and then they ended up working it into the game, into
Oh,
the
really?
story. Yeah,
Oh,
because it just kept getting like as the filming is going on, it's like holy shit, something's happening. Yeah, so it's
the
pretty
the
cool.
Schwarber game?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out. Huh.
and they think he made a cameo too, but yeah, it was pretty cool. And
Okay.
skipping the Ohtani also had one of the just talking about great game performances. The 18 inning where he nobody had gotten on base 6 times. I think when he got on base the sixth time in the World Series game, it was a record. And then when he got on base the seventh time,
I didn't
it
even
was
know
a
that.
record. And then when he got on base the eighth time, it was a record. He destroyed one of the best World Series games of all time. But a lot of
Uh,
those were,
to, yeah, that's a good call out. On the other side of it, the other thing that was crazy is Ernie Clement had the most hits in a postseason with 30 and the most extra or multi-hit games with 10 ever in baseball history. Guess who's second place at 29? Vlad Guerrero from this
really.
season with 29. So the Blue Jays
Yeah.
offensive juggernaut, and like you look at like Clement, obviously Vlad is a premier player. Clement is good, but he hit 277 this year, right?
Clement was
Like
this close to being an all-time hero. If it hadn't have been for that
the
catch.
catch by Pies. Yeah, he would
Yeah.
have, and he would have broken the record on
Yep.
that. He ended up breaking it anyway, but still
He had to have thought though.
crazy.
I just won the World Series. Yeah.
Yep,
Uh,
crazy, crazy.
so some amazing games. Yep. All right. All right. I'm curious what you're calling yours, but anyway. You told me on our mission we had to say something nice about each other's teams. Your
Yeah.
stinking team now.
So
Not your
I'll
stinking team, but oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
I'll start. Like the thing that I thought was most impressive with Ohtani was against the Brewers when he pitched, he led off the game with a home run, then pitched 6 really stellar innings. He had a great game offensively, and just like I think I said to you at the time, like I fucking hate losing, and it like really hurts my soul. But there was something like watching him go back up and hit another home run, and like it was so magical. It was like almost like you. I think I use this analogy to you too. It's like you never want to see your dad get beat up, but if he gets beat up by Superman, you're like, oh, I mean, what was he gonna do? Right? Like, and that's how it felt watching Ohtani in that game. Like that was one of the more magical performances I've ever seen. So
There's a video somewhere on YouTube of I don't know if it's like ESPN Brewer or whatever, but it's 4 guys watching the game, Brewers guys, and reacting. And yeah, they start out sad, and then by the third home run, they're like laughing.
like
They're just like, okay,
what are you
okay,
gonna
then
do?
we get
Yeah, what are you gonna
it.
do?
Yeah.
There's no other human that has ever walked the planet that could do what Ohtani does. So it's really magical. And you know what? I can't wait for the World Baseball Classic for the United States to go up against Japan. It's going to be wild. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, you mentioned that's what you mentioned Cal Raleigh before, and that's what I
Yep.
started thinking about. We'll see how he is there.
Yep.
Uh, and US has a ton of catchers, but anyway, whatever.
Yep.
All right, you're on Ohtani. I did have an Ohtani highlight on here that
Oh, you're not even gonna do your Brewers one?
no, I was gonna say it. Well, you were on Ohtani. Yeah, no, I'll go back to the Brewers. Brewers, who I think we both like each other's teams. Or got to like them, whatever. You were
Yep.
very, very nice about. I think early on you told me like I don't want to hear about the fucking Dodgers because I am absolutely spoiled. But then you went along with it. And but the Brewers had an amazing season and one of the best run franchises. And I thought about talking about Pat Murphy, but I was thinking about the win streak.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, they had a couple long ones, but they had the longest win streak in the league, and that was a big moment, just like
Yeah.
where it all shifted. I think they were behind the Cubs when it started, but it was 14 games. They went ahead. They never looked back.
And
They
it
ended up with the
started
best
with
record in baseball.
the first game they won in that was against the Red Sox, and Christian Yelich hit a walk-off grand slam. And it
Yeah.
was just like the type of thing that a team needs to be like, okay, boom, we're hot now.
And when you're thinking about them and you talk about like small market or not spend as much money and grind and everything else, you would not think, I don't know. You just wouldn't think of them being able to put together the a streak like that. But that's also the sad story for the Brewers, right? Is that the pitching got hurt. But at the time, yeah, you had to be able to string together
Yeah.
all those pitching performances and then guys got burnt out. But
Yeah, because they had a 21 game stretch in a row in August. So it was like late in the year, and three starting pitchers got hurt during it. It's just like, why is the schedulers got to do that? That's when on this podcast we were talking about John Boy's proposal of making sure that days off are more consistent because you just can't do that to a team in August. It's bad.
yeah.
But the Brewers had an 11 game winning streak, then lost scuffled for a week and then had 14. So that was like my highlight of the year too, because it just felt like it was just a magical run. Obviously, it was a franchise record too.
And it's gotten forgotten. I mean, I do understand that playoffs and the World Series are what it's about, but I don't like the fact that, that's all that anybody remembers. Like again, Dodgers barely won it. I hate the thought that the Blue Jays would like maybe look back and hate this season or whatever. The Brewers had an amazing regular season and they knocked off the Cubs, which was so important.
It was
And I
very
was working
important.
for you on that one,
Yep.
and that was stressful. But
Yep.
I hate that we forget that the Brewers were the best team in baseball for the long stretch.
Honestly, the thing I'll remember most is in Game 3 against the Cubs, Andrew Vaughn hitting that home run to go ahead, and it was just the hang up the phone one where where all of a sudden they cut to Craig Counsell. He's going to call the bullpen before Vaughn even rounded first. Like that's what like one of the most iconic things. And when William Contreras hit a home run later on, he did that motion. It was so good because Craig Counsell used to be our manager and everything. There was so much
Yeah,
emotion wrapped up to it. If the Brewers would have lost to the Cubs, like I'm not sure how I would have recovered from that, but the fact that we beat the Cubs, it made the season.
I yeah, we had that problem that our teams were on a collision course, but he needed to get through the Cubs. So that was a crazy time. That was a crazy time. Anyway. So did I just take up your win streak there? Did I just take one of your things off
No,
your list?
no, no, no. No. Yeah, go. You had another Ohtani one. Go with
Oh
that.
yeah, that was the last thing. Oh, well, I thought about players and I thought I was gonna talk about Yamamoto, but then I remembered back to and you had talked about Ohtani being, a class guy, which it seems that way to me too, but you don't know. But I do like, again, going back to baseball, watching MLB, watching all these games, getting a feel for the guys and everything else. And going back to the Padres series, remember
Yeah.
there was the streak. I mean, they've had some bad blood since last year,
They've
and
had
then
great
they had
games.
yeah, and then they had some bad blood this year, including the game where benches cleared and Robertson Schilt got thrown out, um, where they hit Tatis, but it was very clearly just in the game situation. Like there's no way that they were doing it on purpose. But the Padres just decided that they were pissed. And and then Ohtani came up the next inning, got drilled, very obviously on purpose. Pitcher got thrown out. And you see Kershaw, but everybody getting ready to come out of the dugout again. And then Ohtani waved the team back. Anyway,
It
that was
was
a
like a
very good
Jedi
moment.
mind trick. He was just like, go back.
Yeah, it was
And
a
they just
very
let
good
him go.
moment where he waved
Yep.
off
He's like, let's
the
calm it
team
down.
to cool it down and say, "I'm okay, I'm okay." I
Yep.
thought that was a very cool moment.
Yep.
And
That was a great moment.
yeah, anyway, it just
Um,
stuck out to me when I was going back to memorable moments of the season.
so what I need to talk about one other thing here too, and it's the Cleveland Guardians. We would be remiss if we did not mention that they made up 15 and a half games after July to come back and win the playoffs. And then the Tigers obviously recoup or redeem themselves by winning. But what a great regular season comeback that was. That was pretty magical to watch. But I also want to bring up the Guardians because they might have been right at the center of maybe one of the most impactful things that we're going to see over the next 5 years, in my opinion. And that's Emmanuel Clase getting banished to the netherworld for gambling on prop betting. Um, and the reason I want to bring that up because I know it's not one of the highlights, but it does feel, I don't know how you feel about it. It feels like the Jose Canseco moment with the steroid era, with the betting era of baseball, because betting's become so accessible. And it's not even just prop bets now. Like you have prediction market bets that are everywhere. And seeing Emmanuel Clase, it just makes it's a thing to watch going forward. And I think it was one of probably the worst high or the low light of MLB this year with the impact on the game.
How do you mean that it would be the Conseco moment? Like
Well,
that?
like, you know how like Canseco all of a sudden now he's writing a book, he's naming names, and it's like now all of a sudden you're looking at everybody saying, is he a steroid user? Right after Clase, it's like everybody's going to be looking at like off first pitches or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, did that? And I don't know how widespread it is, but I know it's not limited to Emmanuel Clase. Now, him getting caught might have cleaned the whole thing up, and we're not going to see it in the future. But I just think it it uncovered kind of a grimy potential
Oh
period
yeah.
for
Oh,
baseball. They don't.
there's a lot of. I used to pay before it was legal. I got way into podcasts, and I was just learning about sports books and everything else. It was a lot of fun, and but there's so much. I have not liked how it's gone. It's everywhere, and it's
Yeah.
dark in a way of like just people that aren't involved like getting abused. Like college players that get abused online. Like you blew the bet. I mean, that was already happening with
Oh
fantasy
yeah.
football and all that shit.
Yep.
But at least with there's a couple things out of that I think are positive, maybe, which is one, they put out the details of how they caught him, and hopefully that's scaring people straight, and they're gonna
I
throw a look at him.
yes.
But like, and I want to say it's stupid, but in reality, like that they're stupid for doing it, but in reality, it's probably an ugly situation because there's mob ties involved, and like I don't know who's in trouble and who's getting threatened and everything else, but the idea that on the prop bets, like I think maybe people imagine like, oh yeah, there's a ton of people that are betting on pitches and it's just gonna slide by when
It
there's
was
probably
moving the
not
whole
that many people
market.
that are
Yeah.
putting down like $3,000 on the first pitch of the one. Yeah, and
of the closer.
yes, and
Yeah,
it
it's not even the
sticks
first
out,
pitch of the game.
and it sticks out, and knowing, and I think them knowing, and it's always been the case, but knowing that the sports books report, you know,
Yeah,
they've got it
suspicious.
automated and they
Yep.
report weird, they flag stuff and report it to the feds,
Yep.
um, I think is important. And then also after that, I believe that there's been an agreement to cut back on those prop bets, which is part of what's needed. And I had said it happened in cricket too, and it anytime, yeah, you're betting on. I mean, there's not maybe I don't know who out there needs to be betting on each individual pitch, but it feels like it's degeneracy or it feels like it's
Yeah.
preying on people,
Yeah.
and it's so
They're scratch off lottery tickets. Like it, and if you're betting on this stuff, like take it from me as somebody that used to be a legitimate gambling addict, nothing good comes from it. It
yeah.
never ends up well. Uh,
And it's too easy to it's too easy to cheat because of the belief that I could throw away a pitch here and like it's not even going to mess up, I could still get the guy out. Like it's not going to mess up my
yeah,
team just to throw. But
yeah,
yeah, as soon as you get into that, it's just a
it's
disaster.
it's bad. And
Uh,
the weird thing, talking about the Conseco moment for a second, is when you think about steroid use, without knowing anything about the steroid era, like your logic would say, oh, you know who's probably doing the steroids is these tweener guys that are like, if I can just make it to my first MLB contract, I can set up my family for life. But then you look at the people that got caught, and it was all the best players that were already good. And
mhm.
so when you see Clase, it's like this was the best reliever in the league, arguably. This guy was on his way to $100 million contract. And so it just seems weird that it could be the best players doing this. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
see.
You just
We'll
don't know
see. I
what
have
else is
no
going
idea
on.
how widespread it is. Definitely, yeah. They gotta be careful. I don't know if you saw the article. It was a cool but sad article in New York Times about the trade. There was a trade tree going back. I can't remember how many, at least 30 years, maybe longer than that, with um, the Guardians or Indians, whatever,
Oh.
of trades that led to other trades, that led to other trades that have continued till present day. And Clase is the last branch of that, and now it looks like it's going to end with him because
Oh, wow. No,
there's
I
not
haven't
going to
seen
be
that.
another trade with him, presumably.
Yeah,
Anyway, it's
that's
kind of a cool.
interesting.
We
Uh,
gotta end with something positive, man. We
Okay,
just
yeah. Can I throw something at you?
yeah, yeah.
I had something in my mind that I wanted to direct people to. Maybe we can even include MLB clips in this.
We'll figure it out. Whatever.
Yeah, but like the fun thing for me this year also was uh center fielders. Center fielders are so amazing when they're amazing. And I would, Jacob Young from the Nationals had the single greatest catch I've ever seen. Now, it wasn't like a circus catch. Well, actually, he had one of those too. I'll get into it in a second. But there was a game where they were playing I wrote it down. I think they were playing the Mets. No, they were playing the Reds. They were playing the Reds. And he ran back and looked at the wall, looked back at the ball, and then without looking back at the wall, put his leg up, hit the middle of the wall, jumped up over. It was the smoothest home run, Rob, I've ever seen in my life. So I hope that people could go look at the Jacob Young catch. If they do, or they just type into YouTube Jacob Young catch, they're also going to see a game against the Mets, which is equally amazing. He has a circus catch, and you'll probably remember this, Russ. Remember the guy that the ball popped out of his glove and then he kicked it with his foot like a soccer kick
Yeah,
up
that was
into
like
his.
beginning of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that was Jacob Young as well. And then he robbed a home run later in that game. So he had two web gems in the same game. Um,
Uh,
and
we'll
then
figure it out. I might link people to him, but
Denzel Clark from the A's had an amazing rob too that's worth looking at. And then the last one I'll mention is the circus catch of all circus catches ever in MLB history. happened this year
We're gonna
with
say it at the same time. Are we gonna say it at the same time? Is it the same?
Dalton Varsho.
Varsho.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where he caught it behind his back like
He
that.
fell, right? He fell
Yeah, he
first.
fell. He tripped over
Yeah.
his own feet and then did that. And then he had the coolest look on his face, like that's what he was trying to do the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the last center fielder I'll mention was a Brewers versus Dodgers in the playoffs with Frelick's catch non-catch that bounced off the top of the wall. Then he had just a missile into the cutoff man who threw another missile,
Made
got
me
the
sick.
force out at home,
Made me
and then they
sick.
doubled up at third. That's one of the craziest plays. And I'll just leave it with this. Whenever you think you've seen it all in baseball, a play like that happens where you're like, what the hell just happened? And they have to unravel it, and those are fun. So anyways, so I thought we'd end it on that because all that's fun. Center fielders
That
are
was
fun.
fun. There was a lot of you and I were texting throughout the season, and that one stuck out to me. But there's a bunch of plays that again talking about thinking you see everything where I was like, wait. Can you explain to me what just happened? And
Yeah,
yeah, and where you need to actually go and consult the rule book. And yeah, that was fun.
yeah.
Where
And shout out to the umps because in the moment
oh
they were
yeah.
the only ones that knew exactly what was happening. They made the right call on the field, and that's like as much as mad as I get about uh ball strikes. When you see something like that, you're like, oh, these guys are the best in the world at what they do. Like it was pretty impressive.
Yep, yep. That was a good positive there. There you go.
Yep.
Go umps. Go umps.
Go umps. That's the only time you'll hear us say that. All right. Well, we'll leave it there. But I hope you all had a great 2025. In 2026, get into baseball. You'll love it. It'll be the best. I'm guessing if you got to the end of this podcast, you're already into it. Get MLB TV. Follow your team. Comment below what things we didn't mention that were
Best
worth
moments of
talking about.
your favorite moments, your personal favorite moments of the year.
Yep. Put them in there. And we'll see you next time.